Good evening. Uh, Welcome to the Twiz County Board of Education meeting. I want to thank all of you for being here in person, and then also for our online community, as well as our stakeholders for joining us this evening. It is my pleasure to call the Twiz County Board of Education meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, January 16th, and the time is 6:03. This time I'm going to ask Mr. Pearson if he come to the front and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask everyone to stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Mr. Pearson, we want to thank you for coming today and reciting the pledge for us. We truly appreciate your leadership.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024.
I move to approve the agenda for January the 16th, 2024.
Second motion. Motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024 has been properly made by Ms. King and seconded by Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, January the 16th. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 4 with 1 absent. You've had an opportunity to view the minutes earlier. Are there any corrections to the minutes for December 12th, 2023? Since there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as distributed. This time, Ms. King, will you read the ethics statement?
In accordance set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflicts of interest and any interest of such conflict. Does any board member have any known conflicts of interest? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, we will proceed.
All right, thank you, Ms. King. Any of the board members have any comments or remarks at this time? I would just like to say, for the superintendent, I think you handled the weather situation this past week in a good manner. Appreciate that. Now, do you have any comments at this time?
Well, good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, all of our community members and staff and faculty who are with us in person tonight, and those who are joining us virtually. I want to just say Happy New Year to everybody. We are on the second leg of the school year, and we are off to a great start. We are looking forward to a great celebration on tonight that has kicked us off into a high spirit that has definitely been an indication of all of the hard work of this board and of the staff and students and parents So we want to thank you all for your continued support of the school system and of your students. We want to thank the board for your continued support of the school system and our initiatives as well, and definitely the staff that we're going to celebrate on today. We do have an acknowledgement we're going to make. We'll make it during our February board meeting for our elementary school and a celebration that we want to have with them. But with all of the inclement weather breaks that we had last week, we couldn't get all of the elementary students together like we wanted to before tonight. So we'll acknowledge and recognize them for their hard work during the February board meeting. So, Mr. Chair, we'll proceed with the agenda as it's written.
Thank you, sir. This time we'll move into the business agenda, and we'll get the district request from Dr. Bullock.
Again, Mr. Chair, we do have field trips as well as fundraiser requests that we'd like to get the board approval on. If they do align with our vision of generating excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all of our students to compete globally. On the 11th of January, as well as there has been an addition, January the 24th and January the 31st. Ms. Macario Sampson is requesting your permission to take a group of students to the Jeffersonville City Park. They're doing community service in the park, and they weren't able to complete on the 11th, so they're asking your permission to add 2 additional dates on the 24th and 31st of January. On the 13th, the JROTC and the Twiggs County Middle High School Band participated in the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade that was held in downtown Jeffersonville. They did a fantastic job. That was on Saturday the 13th. On this coming Wednesday, the elementary school and middle school will be having their homeroom spelling bee, and that will be conducted here in the boardroom. And Ms. Floyd will be in charge of that event, and we're looking forward to naming a new spelling bee champion. On Thursday, the 18th, the middle school will be conducting a different community service project. They'll be going to the Twiggs County Senior Center in order to support the senior citizens that are there at the senior center. On Saturday, the 20th, Ms. Denson is asking your permission to take the FBLA to the FBLA Region Competition, and that'll be at Central Georgia Technical College. And Ms. Andrea Denson is also asking your permission on Wednesday, the 24th, to take 9th through 11th graders to a career exploration at Central Georgia Technical College. On Friday, the 26th, the second grade teachers would like your permission to take their students to the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park. We just celebrated National King Day on yesterday, and they'll learn more about that historical figure, his life, and his contributions. On the 31st, Ms. Denson would like your permission to take 9th through 11th graders, again, the second part of those students, back to the Central Georgia Technical College to explore different careers that are available for them. On Thursday, the 8th of February, Ms. Macario Sampson would like to take Twiggs County Middle School students to the Museum of Illusions in Atlanta, and that is an orientation of the museum and the materials. Ms. Denson would like to take the 10th through 11th graders to Central Georgia Technical College Aerospace Training Center, and that's a career opportunity, and also for them to look at dual enrollment opportunities for registration for next year. Ms. Williams would like to take the FCCLA students to the Region Star Events Competition, and that's on Saturday, February the 10th, and that'll be at Westside Comprehensive High School in Augusta, Georgia. And on Monday the 12th of February, Ms. Williams would like to take FCCLA to the Atlanta Hawks Arena for the FCCLA Day at the Hawks. And on Tuesday the 13th, to take the same group to the Georgia State Capitol to the Georgia FCCLA Day at the Capitol. Ms. Erica Williams would like to take the PEC students from the high school to Academy Sports on Thursday, February the 15th. The students will explore job site and look at the job site for work experiences in a warehouse setting. Ms. Morgan Robinson is interested in taking her middle high school FFA students to Camp John Hope for the Central Region CDEs, and the CDEs are the career development opportunities for agricultural students. Through the February the 21st, which is a Wednesday, and to the Camp John Hope for the Georgia Junior Livestock Show and the Central Region's Career Development event. The first grade teachers would like to take their students on the 1st of March to the Georgia Aquarium in order to learn more about basic needs of plants and animals. And Ms. Williams would like to take her students from the middle high school to Warm Springs on the 12th of March, and that's the tour of Warm Springs to learn more about their certification programs and employment opportunities at Warm Springs. That concludes the field trip request. There are some fundraiser requests as well. Ms. Leandria Lewis would like to utilize the Cobra Pit in order to sell popcorn to the high school students during the basketball game, and this will be on Tuesday, the 30th of January, Saturday, the 3rd of February, and Tuesday, the 6th of March. And that fundraiser is to raise funds for the National Honor Society. Ms. Mia Hunt would like to utilize Twiggs County Middle High School and the small gym to sell handygrams, and this will be for the SGA. They'd like to use it on the 14th of February, which is a Wednesday, and on Thursday, the 15th, in order to use the small gym for a sneaker ball. And they'd like to utilize those funds for upcoming Student Government Association events. Ms. Leandria Lewis would like again to utilize the Cobra store to sell snacks during Cobra time, and that's Tuesday, the 27th through Thursday, the 29th of February. And again, that's to raise funds for the National Honor Society. Middle high school gym is being requested by Ms. Mia Hunt, again, in order to build up funds for the SGA, and this is going to be the Cobra Day of Pageants, and she'll have pageants from pre-K through 12th grade, and that'll be held on Saturday, the 23rd of March. And Ms. Leandria Lewis would like your approval to have a fundraiser at the Cobra football field. She'd like to have, this will be in April when it's a lot warmer, April Thursday the 18th and Friday the 19th. She would like to have a color run. And on Tuesday the 30th of April through the 3rd of May, she'd like to sell snacks following the Georgia milestones in the school store. And all of that is to raise membership dues funds and purchase graduation cords for the National Honor Society students. That concludes our field trip and our fundraising request for the month.
I will now entertain a motion to approve district requests for field trips and fundraisers.
I move to approve all the field trips and fundraisers listed now.
The motion to approve the district request has been approved by Ms. King and second by Ms. Stokes. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the district request. Those in favor, raise your hand. The motion passes by a vote of 4 and 1 absent. This time, Mr. Austin, you on the monthly financial report along with the governor's $1,000 retention supplement.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, constituents in person and virtually. I'm presenting information on the Board report, monthly financial report ending in December 31st of 2023. It does support our vision of generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. It does align with our strategic plan goals. 1, learning and wellness for all. 2, excellence ahead. 3, doing things the Tweeds way. 4, growing and sustaining our village. And 5, our premier people first organization. General fund column, to the far left, we have collected 66% of our local taxes. As I stated in prior board meetings, November, December, and January, we see a huge increase in our tax collection because the bills are being paid. Generation of revenue is taking place, and we're receiving those checks to our offices. 59% of the anticipated revenue has been collected at this point. In the expenditure column, 49% of the expenditures, judging by the budget, has been accounted for. We're at 50% of the actual fiscal year. So 49% of expenditures is on pace with our budget projection. And of course, we have a surplus in the monthly fund balance of this particular month due to our tax collections coming in. Our debt service fund, December was the month to pay all of our principal and interest payments for our prior bond that we were retiring, and also the new bond as well. So those payments have been made and accounted for. I do want to point out that our tax anticipation note was paid and accounted for. And so I know Ms. Stokes would be happy to hear that. And we did take care of that before we went home on the break. Our special revenue funds considers our federal programs. Of course, what we expend, we have the opportunity to be reimbursed. So those numbers match, 196,599 revenue and the corresponding and expenditures. Capital project funds, projects that we are conducting with our bond that was approved in March of last year. $1.5 million have been spent of the budgeted amount of 2.1, and so we're about 72% into that particular budget. School nutrition fund, 5% of the revenue being collected, 48% of expenditures, and it does align with our projections because we're, of course, at 50% of the year, 48%, 45%, so we're projected in a good space here. Are there any questions, concerns about the monthly financial report? So the governor's retention bonus, we received news over the holiday break that the governor wanted to surprise state employees, specifically certified employees in the public school system, for all the hard work and effort that has taken place in the school system to educate our students. And at the time, we did not have any information to accommodate, but we are sure that this retention bonus does support education as a whole, and therefore it does align with our vision of generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. Specifically aligns with our strategic plan goal 5, which is a premier people first organization. So the intent behind the retention bonus was to provide $1,000 for employees that were earned on our quality basic education formula, as we call QBE. They provided $95,342 to Twiggs County Public Schools on December 29th, 2023. Normally, when the state says they're going to give us money, we have to submit documentation, wait for a request. They actually put the money in our account before we had a chance to do anything. So we knew that it was timely, urgent, and we didn't have any excuse on not to pay the money out. So I did verify those funds were there on the 29th, so we did not have to float any money to make this happen. So what did they look like for Twiggs County Public Schools? 127 employees received the full $1,000. We did not tax this, meaning if we did take our taxes, they would have received $920 opposed to the full $1,000. So we ensured that all the employees did receive that. Contracted teachers, and we're talking about our knowledge resource teachers, our international teachers that provide support to our students. By the legislation and the actual intent, they were eligible, so they did receive that as well. The district paid a total of $148,041.36. And for us, adjusting for taxes and also accommodating our support staff. Some of the support staff was not on the QB allotment, and they are just as important as anyone else as it relates to the work that's being done. So we wanted to accommodate them as well. And what we did not want to do was put a local burden on the local taxes and our local general funds, so ESSER funds was eligible to cover any additional expenditures outside of the $92,000. So we have a combination of the state money and also ESSER funds to cover the $148,000 that we paid out. Are there any questions?
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Olson. Dr. Griffin Stewart? Olson.
Good afternoon, Chair Karstafen,
Good
Vice
afternoon.
Chair Rouse, Ms. Stokes, Ms. King, Ms. Blackshear in her absence, Dr. Mac Bullard, and to all of our stakeholders listening virtually and in person. It brings me great pleasure to share our CSI updates. And our CSI represents Comprehensive Improvement Support Schools. But before I can share this information with you, we are a district with a vision and a mission. And our vision is generating excellence, one team, one goal. And our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. So just a little back information. In 2022-23, our school district received notice from the Georgia Department of Education that one of our schools would be included on the Comprehensive Improvement Support Schools list because we were one of those schools noted for being in the 25th lowest percentile of schools in content mastery in the state of Georgia. And it was our Twiggs County Middle School. So during this year, we had support from the Georgia Department of Education, and that was Dr. Rose Brown. She served as our SES. And Dr. Rose Brown, her role was to support the principal as well as teachers and support staff members. We also had a SIS, and that was a representative from Middle Georgia RESA, and that was Dr. Kachara Brown. So she supported our instructional coach as well as teachers. And then our district effectiveness specialist from the Georgia Department of Education was Dr. Michelle Hamilton, and she directly supported me. So what happened during the course of this year and a little bit of last year, they came to help us with helping our teachers unpack the Georgia standards to help our teachers really build their pedagogy for teaching to the intent and rigor standards. They taught us instructional strategies. They taught us as leaders instructional strategies and how to really keep an eye on our instructional data. And so with that, I am excited to share that the official list came out on January the 9th, 2024. And so they publish a list every year. And so when we received notification that the list was published again at the Twiggs County Middle School because of our achievement gains that our students made last school year, that we were removed from the list. So as you can see that today, So if all of our middle school staff members would stand, and let's give them a wild round of applause. If you would go back, Mr. Basley. I would like to just say congratulations to the Twiggs County Middle School leaders, teachers, students, parents, and all contributing stakeholders who made this recognition possible. So while we're here today recognizing our teachers and our leaders and our support staff members, we couldn't have done it without the support of our parents. And last but not least, definitely our students, because they put the information in. They went and applied what they learned from us. So we'll definitely be celebrating our students. So you'll hear about the celebration. We'll do the school letter. We definitely will be recognizing our parents and board members. Thank you for your support, because without all hands on deck, it takes a team to make it happen. So it takes all of us. So another round of applause for all of our parents who are not present, our students, and our community. So I'm always a leader that says, okay, what's next? And so while we have been removed from the list, we're excited about that. But I do want to share with you, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of helping our students move the needle on student achievement. That's why we show up every day. That's why we're here. And so I would like to invite Dr. Simmons to come up at this time and to share what are our next steps. We're off the list now, so we want to make sure we stay off the list. But the goal is to make sure that we're giving our children a quality education and graduating from high school. So Dr. Simmons.
Thank you, Dr. Griffin Stewart, Board Chair Starfin, Vice Chair Rouse, Board members, Dr. Bullard, constituents, both those who are here with us today and those who are viewing at home. I would like to really reiterate everything that Dr. Griffin Stewart just shared with you. The team that I led along with our state support did in a matter of 8 months what some schools cannot do in years. And that is a very profound task that they undertook. And we have some members who are no longer with Twiggs County Public Schools, but I do want to acknowledge the hard work of Ms. Warren and Ms. Wooten, Ms. Oates, who was worked with the teachers. And I want to acknowledge every teacher here who is a part of the middle school team, as well as Ms. Woodley, Mr. Stevens, Ms. Jennifer Williams, Ms. Christy Williams, Ms. Faulkner, Ms. Vinson, Ms. Stevens, Ms. Hunt, Ms. Sanders, who is new with us, and Ms. Gisha as well. Every last single one of them are the reason why I stand before you today, because it was truly a team effort. But even as we continue, Dr. Bullard, during our mid-year convocation, said we're going to celebrate, but we're going to celebrate in moderation. Because yes, we are no longer on the list, but we still have a lot of work to do. The gains that we have were due to student progress. The students came, the teachers came, everyone gave their best effort, and it was reflected in the data. But when it comes to student achievement, we are still behind the mark, even with our comparison with other districts of our size and with our state's goals as well. So what do we do to move forward? One thing that we're going to focus on is the use of data. When it comes to school improvement is broken down into stages. Our first stage focused on processes and procedures. We looked at the student handbook, we looked at collaborative planning and all of those things. We shored those things up because we had to have a firm foundation. Our next phase then went into teacher development, which is what Dr. Griffin Stewart shared with you, where we focus on teachers. It's almost like what you hear about the airplane. Who do you put the mask on? You put the mask on the teachers. We wanted to make sure that they were comfortable going in front of those kids to be able to provide sound instruction. So professional learning, collaborative planning, all of those, lesson plan alignment, all of those things were what we focused on in phase 2. Those things are what allowed us to get to be off the list. We are now in phase 3. Phase 3 started in the summer, and it has continued in the fall. Phase 3 is a focus on data-driven instructional practices. Data, 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 everywhere. So we are focused already looking at our closings. Closings are what we call daily formative assessments. So every day, how do we measure whether students have mastered or not mastered the content? By having a closing that is aligned with the standard and the task during the work period, we know readily whether that has happened or not. So that is one of our next steps, is to ensure that our daily closings are aligned to the intent of the standard and are rigorous in nature. Step number 2 is biweekly coming assessments. We have already started that in our science through our partnership with Dr. Wendell Holmes and some work that he has been doing. We now have our math consultant that came in today, so he will be assisting our math teachers with that. Our ELA teachers are what we call singletons, where they plan in terms of the course by themselves, but in terms of the content, they plan together. So we have a plan for them to make sure that we are utilizing iReady, as well as some of our other resources to have biweekly common assessments. And then one of the most important steps in our continuation is making sure that all stakeholders are aware of what the data says. So that means that the students are in tune with their goals. Do they know what it means to demonstrate mastery on Pythagorean theorem? How many questions do you have to get right? What equation do you have to know? In terms of our students, when it comes to mitosis and meiosis, what does it mean? Are you able to demonstrate that by being able to label a diagram or to be able to write a written response? So we've got to make sure that the students understand the level of mastery. But not only do students need to know, parents need to know as well. So we are pledging that as we move forward, that one of our key initiatives will be making sure that we have ongoing data presented to our parents, not just by way of pass or fail and iReady, because pass or fail is too late. By way of, does your child understand what the mastery goal is? Can they articulate that to you? And then if they don't demonstrate mastery, what is their plan to be able to help themselves? Student efficacy is very important. The teachers are there. How can we get the students to see the importance of learning this and having their data in front of them? The beautiful thing about phase 3 is that phase 3 operates on a continuum. It never stops. It never stops. So even though phase 4 would come in, because phase 4 is when, okay, it's about the monitoring. We have met our goal. We are at and above state average. We are at and above 75 and 80%. That then becomes just a continuum with stage 3 built into it. So we have a very comprehensive plan to ensuring that the gains that we have made, that they continue to go up. And I again want to thank the board for all of your support, Dr. Griffin Stewart, all of our state support that we had, because we had some of the best here in Twiggs County with us. But Dr. Rose Brown and Dr. Kachari Davis were phenomenal, and we thank them for that. And I also want to thank this fabulous team of educators. Without you, none of this would have been possible. And without your commitment moving forward, we wouldn't be able to continue with our strides. So thank you guys for everything that you have done and continue to do for Twiggs County Public Schools. Thank you again. Any questions for me?
Yes, I'd first like to say congratulations. That's a great job. Thank the teacher. Thank you for everything you do. I just wonder where we're at compared to the state.
When it comes, it's broken down by each content. And Dr. Budd will be able to share that information with you. I know he's going to go deeper into it in session with you. There are some areas with the state we're right there. There are some areas where with the state we are behind in terms of our student achievement. In terms of our student progress, we even exceeded the state in a lot of areas. We were right there with the state. But the achievement component itself, the content mastery, we are behind the state in just about every area. We are. But in terms of the progress that we made in those 8 months, we exceeded the state in a number of areas, or we're within 10 points of the state in others. And that's why we're talking about the progress that we made. I am certain that this year, when it comes to content mastery, you're going to see even more gains. Again, that's part of what it is with school improvement. It is designed to take anywhere between 3 to 5 years for a school to be able to demonstrate that whole turnaround initiative. For us to have come off the list in 1 year says a lot. But again, the data does not lie. For us to be where we are with content mastery, there is still a lot of work that we are committed to doing.
That's great. How much increase or progress did we make to get off the list?
So I want to think carefully because
I'm just trying to see, we did good in 8 months. I just want to see maybe 8 more months, what we're going to be looking like.
Yes, sir. And so, I'm glad that you want to see that. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but Dr. Bullard does have them. And so I know that Dr. Bullard will, as a part of his, because he shared it with the entire district when we came back for our convocation. I don't want to give you wrong numbers. I just believe in being factual. And because I don't know them off the top of my head, I don't even want to tell you if it's within five points. But I do know that in certain areas, we were above the state by almost 10 points. In certain areas, 25 points. In one area, we were above by 25 points, and in other areas within 10 points, because there was content mastery, there was progress, there was closing the gap, and there was readiness. Those are the 4 areas that now make up the CCRPI. And in 3 of those areas, the content was the lowest. But even when you look at us in comparison to other school districts, it was low in some areas across the state, especially in math and science. But that's not an excuse for me because I know that my kids can do it, right? But I do want for us to look at the amount of progress that they made. And I do also want to share that when you look at the Georgia milestones and you look at developing, and Dr. Bullett's going to share this with you as well, when students score as developing, they are actually scoring within the early band of being on grade level. So they are not 2 and 3 years behind. So that's why when you see someone that's developing, I might be in 7th grade and I took the exam 7th grade month 7, but I may have scored developing because I scored at 7th grade month 2. I'm in the beginning of the grade band, but I'm still on the 7th grade level. So, but we do have some kids that score at beginning, and that beginning can be anywhere between 2 and 3 years, even greater. And we have to make sure that we're closing that gap. It's so when you look at the data, there are so many components of that data analysis that you will have to be able to see to understand how everything plays together. It's not just about pass or fail. And even with those different areas, when it comes to progress, content mastery, closing the gap, and readiness. But I'll be more than happy to come back and go into more detail if you would like for me to.
Well, you said Dr. Bullard got it. I'm quite sure he's going to give me a lot of details.
Yeah, he will. He does a good job, though. But he has it for you, I promise you. Any other questions for me? Again, we thank you guys for your support. Thank you so much. I would like for the team to come up so we can have a picture taken with Dr. Griffin Stewart and all of the board members. I know I'm asking for stuff, but I'm excited, y'all. So if we could just get a quick picture.
This is a worthwhile picture. Well earned. Oh, there.
Wave it on the man again.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Mr. Chair, it is no easy feat to come off of the state's low achievement list. It took considerable, focused, intentional effort, and the teachers, the administrative staff committed themselves, students committed themselves, and as a result, Mr. Rouse, overall, 7 out of 10 of our students made significant growth from their milestones performance in math, science, and ELA from the year before. 70% of our students made growth from on their milestones performance from the previous milestones assessment. That is nothing to shake a stick at. And it takes intentional, focused effort in order for that. The assessment data did demonstrate that our students do still lag behind in content mastery, but they outperformed every middle school in the state by about 15% in their progress. And we are exceptionally proud of it. There's nothing that our students can't achieve. There's nothing that they cannot do. I am assured of it. As long as we give them the resources and the support and the time that they need, our students can do it. And they proved it last year in their milestone performance. Congratulations, Tweeds County Middle School staff and administrators, parents, everybody that contributed to that effort. We all have children and have had children in school. We know all of the barriers that kids face when going to school and that families face, but our students stood the test. Our students were resilient. Our students persisted, and as a result, they demonstrated excellence in their progress and in closing the gaps between other students like them across the state. My hat is off to you. It typically takes 2 to 3 years for what happened in our middle school in less than 1. And that is no easy feat. I do thank as well Dr. Rose Brown, Dr. Contrari Davis, Dr. Hamilton for their support. I want to thank them. I've also asked the State Department if they would continue to, maybe not at the level that they have given us, but we don't want to undo this structure. You know, we had a race car that had a fast engine in it. I hate to undo the engine that got us here so fast. So I told the state, I'm not asking for them to come like they were coming, but certainly allow them to keep a relationship with our team because we have accepted them as a part of our team. We don't need all of the coaching and all of the direction that they provided, but we certainly want them to continue to stay on board. So again, Mr. Rouse, we'll put together a presentation and share with you the Tweeds County Middle School performance data. We'll share that with you. I do have it down to the detail.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it, sir.
I have it down to the detail. So that we can show it to you and make sure that you have an opportunity to bask in all of the hard work that they've done. Congratulations once again, middle school. Congratulations.
I too want to say congratulations to the teachers. I know what it takes, and I know the effort that you had to put in, and I want to encourage you to continue that effort. But again, I want to say thank you for the effort that you put in. When I say I know, I know. All right. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and at this time, we're going to move into executive session to discuss some personnel matters. Can I get a motion to move into executive session?
Made that motion.
Second.
Okay. The motion has been made by Mr. Ross and properly seconded by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? The question is on adoption to move to executive session. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes by a vote of 4 with 1 absent. Again, thank you all, and keep up the good work. I make a motion that we return from executive session. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion to return from executive session has been properly made by myself, the chair, and second by Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to move to executive session. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes 3 with 2 absence. Now, we will chair a motion to approve the recommendations for renewal. Can I get a motion to approve the recommendations for renewal of contracts for administrators?
I made that motion.
Second.
Okay, the motion to approve the recommendation for renewable contracts for administration was properly made by Mr. Rouse and second by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption to approve the recommendation for contract renewals for the administration. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes by a vote of 3 with 2 absences. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? If not, this meeting is adjourned.